You're listening to the Tuesday Review. I'm Nathan, as always, joined by James. How you going, James?
Not bad.
How you going, Alan? You good?
I'm sick.
You sick? Sick of this show? No. And how you going, Callum?
Actually sick?
You caused it.
It's going around.
Don't worry, mate. You caused it.
You guys are always sick.
You people.
You people, no, it's not your cousins you hang around with a lot at all who are children in germ factories at all.
No, I
is
don't
it?
hang around with them much.
Yeah.
You watched Ultraman with them last week, so you probably got it then, and now it's manifesting itself.
To be fair to Alan, I've been on the cusp of being sick for like 2 weeks, and it just hasn't.
Yeah, but you're always on the cusp of being sick.
And we're also joined by
Fully
special
sick.
guest Rafal in the studio. How you going, Rafal?
Wait, did we introduce
He waves.
everyone?
No, we did.
Okay.
Yeah, we got there.
Yeah,
Rafal's like,
Rafal
now
waves
when he gets sick.
approvingly.
Yeah, a live studio audience.
Yeah.
Rafal's like, for what, 15 degrees extra temperature? I'm getting sick now.
Yeah. That's it. He's
He
like,
wants to
oh
go back
no.
to the potato.
He's sitting in the disease factory. All right, so to start with today, we'll like to draw the attention to the YouTube video that we put out today for our listeners, or as of the recording of this video.
Yeah.
We got the opportunity to get sent some board games, courtesy of
Big Potato.
Big Potato Games, and discuss them. So we have a full unboxing, gameplay, review kind of video
on the YouTube.
on the YouTube. It's pretty good, if me and Alan do say so.
Yeah.
Took us all damn day to make it.
We put a couple memes in there.
Yeah.
Couple jokes.
Those are good.
Yeah, go watch that. I think we don't do enough board game coverage, and if people like it, we'll do more.
Yeah, I think it was also our first time kind of filming and you guys editing something like that. So, yeah, it's still it's a learning
Yeah,
experience.
definitely.
Because now we know what to look out for.
But they are good. They were good board games.
Yeah.
You can't say and dumb questions to ask your friends.
Hmm.
So I encourage people to go watch that video. We'll talk about them very briefly.
Yeah.
I think we enjoyed the first game we played, You Can't Say which is in which the players have to
Yeah.
describe an A card and a B card, where the A card is usually an adjective and the B card is normally a noun,
Yeah.
without using or filler words like
Yeah.
those kinds of things. And then as you go on through the board, you get the challenge cards,
Mm.
which add different rules and kind of chaos to the game.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun playing that one, I think.
That one was, we enjoyed that one a lot more than the other one.
And the other one we were able to get a chance to play was Dumb Questions to Ask Your Friends. This one, it was fun, but I think it's a different kind of game for a different
It's
kind
a
of
lot
crowd.
more chill because there's no timer, there's no real challenge, like rule or challenge cards.
It's very much a game of everybody wins.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
it's just like having a good time and
Yeah.
making
so
jokes.
for that reason, I think me and Alan both agree that that's the kind of a better game to play with your family, your
More
friends,
people.
younger
Yeah.
kids,
Oh,
maybe,
yeah,
like
yeah.
just a general broader audience.
Yeah.
It's the game you bring out when, like, you know, your wife's friends come and you're not very familiar with them and you can't bring out the real dark stuff. But I wouldn't know.
You don't want to scare anyone, yeah.
When it's like, oh, we should do a board game night. Everyone's superficial, like, you know,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Can I say I forgot about the conspiracy theory you made that Alan's actually married with a family, and like he just like doesn't mention it at all.
That's an old one. I don't think
Yeah.
we've even talked about that on the show.
No, I don't think we have.
Because Alan
That's-
starts talking about this is the perfect game for your wife and kids, and then he pauses. I wouldn't know about that, and I was like, wait a minute, I forgot all about this.
Well, he can't have a wife and kids because he's an AI.
That's true.
Also correct.
Unless he's got an AI wife and kids.
Is this an ex machina situation?
Or he's a robot man and he has and
Mm.
he's tricked a woman into marrying him without telling her
Hold on,
he's a robot.
Alan GP needs to reset, all right? Rafal's like, what are they doing? We're playing with the soundboard. We just use the Windows boot screen music.
Yeah. Oh, soundboard's back finally.
Soundboard's back.
We'll have hopefully
All
we'll have
thanks to me and my
I
AI
offered you headphones. There's
Oh,
headphones, Rafal, all right? We've got a spare headphone slot.
we've remind me to send you all the new sounds that I downloaded.
Very good.
Yeah. Anyway, the games.
Yeah, so we had more fun with, I guess you can't say than with Dumb Questions to Ask Your Friends, but they're both very good and they serve different party purposes.
Big Potato Games are all good. Like we were sent those two, but then we were talking the other night before filming, and you had the herd one.
Herd mentality, which we also really enjoy.
Yeah, which is also from them. And then
They're Exploding Kittens as well, or something
yeah,
like
Exploding
that. Yeah.
Kittens they had, which I haven't played, but it's very popular. And then I'm pretty sure the blockbuster game we played on the 200th episode is also Big Potato Games.
So they're quietly a really big kind of, I guess, video game manufacturer, which is good.
Board
Yeah,
games,
Please
yeah.
watch our
board
200th
games.
episode.
Yeah.
It's hard to listen to if you're not familiar with the
with the game.
yeah.
Mm.
But
That
this
was
is
fun
what
to
make, though.
now
That
that
was
yeah, it
us.
was fun for us. But I think the more we do stuff like this with the board game reviews and filming, the more we get used to it. The more
Yeah, the
we
better
don't-
we'll get.
we don't have a lot of time to edit and
so
organize things, so it's all just kind of
It's a learning process, and also we had to dust off Alum's old gaming laptop, which was able to run the video editing firmware because my computer's too old to do this kind of stuff.
yeah.
And even his laptop, which was really good when he purchased it, was starting to chug by the end of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's a problem with technology, is it?
Yeah, like a 20-something, 60 in there or something.
Yeah.
But it's a laptop card. Surprisingly, my desktop, I was like, this video's all in 1080. It's got actual, video content and clips and stuff. It's going to be a bit 5 minutes, not even, to render.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's pretty good.
yeah. That felt too long to me, but I remember complaining about rendering episodes to Nathan. I was like, they take like a whole minute and a half. And Nathan's like, just a minute and a half? I'm like, yeah.
That's nothing.
Might take like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, now I know.
Yeah.
Now I know.
But look, it was a good experience. Thank you to Rachel for sending these out to us and organising
Yeah.
this. And we hope to do more of this kind of content in the future. But definitely go check out that video. We also have more details to the current kind of, I guess, sale campaign in that video as well.
Yep.
Save yourself some money.
Yeah.
Pre-buy for Christmas if you want.
Yeah.
Mm.
Look, we love board games. We've talked about this on the show before.
Yeah.
Encourage people to play board games because they're good for people's communication and just general kind of word skills
Mm.
and communicating.
Yeah, and you guys mentioned in the video how, like, at PAX, our favourite part was the board games and the card games.
There's a link to our PAX video at the end of that video as well.
Yeah.
People can just click through.
And we actually have some card games and stuff that we were going to do unboxings for and playthroughs of. So maybe if we get the camera set up,
Yeah.
a better setup, and, we can get that done as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess moving on with what we've watched lately. I guess I'll start. I watched the new Ghostbusters movie, The Frozen
You should have told
Empire.
me. We would have watched it and then all talked about
Really?
it.
I didn't think you were interested.
Well, I love the original too. And then I watched Afterlife and thought it was okay.
Oh.
Um,
Well, I can talk about it next week if we can come back around. If you wanted to
I'll
watch
watch it
it.
too.
Alright.
I'll watch them best
yeah,
on them
let's
at the end.
let's do
All right,
that.
we'll put a pin in this and we'll
There
come
you
back
go.
next week for that.
Okay, cool.
How do you feel, Alan? Ghostbusters next week?
Only if you guys watch Dark Matter.
Well,
I
it's-
am
yeah.
up to episode. I've watched 6 episodes,
Yeah, I think
and then the last
tomorrow.
episode comes out Thursday
Oh, then I'll
Tomorrow.
watch that as well.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I should be
I was
finished
like-
by next week.
I'm gonna watch it. I was waiting for it to finish or
Yeah.
get close
Yeah.
to
Cool.
finish. Alan alerted me that now is the time, and I'll get on it.
Hmm.
The other things I have to talk about is I watched the Taken trilogy
I saw that on your
For the
Letterboxd, and I was
first-
like,
for the first time since they'd come out. Basically,
yeah.
Why don't you watch The Equalizer, huh? It's the same thing.
it is, but
But it's got Denzel.
I really liked the first Taken movie, and I hadn't watched it in such a long time. I'd watched The Equalizer, the first one, and I think the first Taken movie is almost like a perfect action movie, kind of revenger. I really liked it.
I mean, I haven't seen it probably since around the time it came out, but I remember not hating it. I mean, it was fine.
I think it's very, very different to the sequels.
Yeah.
It's a lot darker. It's brutal. Some of the violence is just brutal.
Well, I think they were all PG-13, but the version you might have watched must have been the unrated version.
Maybe. Because there's some just not very PG-13 stuff in the first movie.
Because I don't think any of them were R.
No. Oh, the
Yeah.
first one, or the version I watched was on Netflix and Disney Plus, and the first one is like MA in Australia.
Okay, yeah.
And then the second one is M, and the third one is MA, but it could have just been M, because it's the same kind of watered-down nonsense
Yeah.
as the second one.
Mm.
But the first one is a really great movie, and it has those kinds of the dark themes and that kind of delving into the underbelly to rescue someone and
Yeah.
all those kinds of things that I really like.
Mm.
And then the second one is just really a showcase to go on holiday in Istanbul. You can go throw around grenades and no one cares.
I think that's...
It's one of those
Yeah,
movies where
I
it's
think
probably
as
sponsored by the city, and they're just like, "Come shoot
It's
here."
cheap. It's cheap to film
Yeah.
there probably, but also like I think as they went on, I don't think I think I might have seen the second one. I don't think I saw the third one,
Look, it's
but-
definitely a location movie. It's visually appealing, but
Which
it's
one?
also
The first one?
the second one.
Okay.
It's visually appealing, but it's kind of slightly insulting to like all the police and the locals are basically untrustworthy, and no one reacts when the daughter's throwing grenades around the city, and everyone's just like, "Cool, I guess."
Yeah, but I mean, it's action movie logic.
Yeah, 100%.
But also, I think we talked about this. I think you were talking about it a while ago. You watched another movie where an American cop goes to a foreign country and like
the
just takes
postcard
over.
killings, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just a trope of.
Don't get me wrong; these are much better than the postcard killings.
Oh yeah, well, I hadn't even heard of that movie, so it's just a trope of.
Yeah, no. But the third one is kind of... It's not the weakest. I feel 2 is the weakest, but the third has bigger problems in specific areas.
Okay.
And this is a nitpick, kind of a nitpick.
Yeah.
The villain is allegedly an like USSR kind of Spetsnaz, like super soldier guy. But he's like in his 30s. And I'm like, but sir, you should be Putin's age if you were like a young man when the wall, like when the USSR fell apart.
Yeah.
In like the early 90s.
Yeah.
You're too young for this. So the actor doesn't match the background of the character.
I mean, I don't think any of those movies are particularly.
No, but it's
yeah, but it seems like a big oversight.
But why? It's a throwaway line. We're like, oh, he was big before the USSR fell. I'm just like, if you change that line a little bit and it's fine. But the fact that they're trying to make him some big USSR kind of bogeyman is just like, but
That's
he's
weird.
But he's like 30s max. I'm like, the movie's set in the modern day. What are you doing? Anyway,
I mean, this is why people think these movies are stupid. It's because they are.
It is. But the first one is a great movie.
Which one's do you know what I'm talking about when I talk about the fence edit? The jump when he's jumping over the fence.
That's the third movie, but I don't
So,
know which.
There's a sort of, it's like a legendary, like, example of bad editing, and I guess trying to hide the fact that Liam Neeson is like 70 years old, because there's a shot where he's like running and he like goes to jump over a fence, and it cuts to about 5 or 6 or 7 different angles, and just like, and it's like just one shot of him slowly, and I guess to make it look like fast, they just cut all these angles. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know that scene. But, yeah.
I think the shaky cam gets worse as they go along as well, if I'm not mistaken. What's that?
He can still kick your ass at 70.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, he could.
Yeah.
Who's else he couldn't kick?
Who?
Darth Maul's. He got chopped in half.
Yeah.
He did get chopped in half.
R.I.P. Qui-Gon.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Qui-Gon Jinn. Look, I guess I got a little bit of time. I also watched Dave for the first time in like 20 years.
Oh, I haven't seen that in years.
That's a good movie.
Mm.
It's different. Obviously, it's one of those movies where I talked about recently when I watched The
Where
American
did you watch
President.
that?
Yeah.
That's on binge.
Okay.
And it's like one of those movies, much like The American President, where all the problems are so minor. You know, like they're dealing with these government issues.
Because
and
it's a
just like-
rom-com. It's not
Yeah.
about the politics.
No, but it's like they always have to put in that like little political angle to keep people engaged. And it's like, when the president wasn't threatened with prison every 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah, I just I remember really liking it, but yeah, I probably haven't seen it in about 20 years either.
Yeah, it's
But
worth
also,
a rewatch.
I remember there's an American Dad joke where Stan is talking to someone. Oh, he's talking to some rich people, and he's like, "Wow, you guys are so classy. I bet you guys have Dave on DVD. Kevin Kline plays. Wait for it. 2 characters." Something like that. I just remember that joke from years ago. It's so funny.
I need to watch American Dad more. I never watched that many episodes.
I think American Dad got to a point where it was better than Family Guy, but then that was years and years ago, and both Family Guy and American Dad just kept going, and I stopped watching both.
I know.
Skill issue.
I know I enjoyed the alien character.
Roger the Alien.
Yeah, and the German fish. Is it a German fish?
Klaus.
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah.
Power through the bad seasons like me.
Oh yeah. What with?
Yeah, that's it.
But with Simpson, I don't know. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I feel, I haven't watched more of the recent American Dad stuff, but I feel they've done well to kind of branch out all their characters nicely, rather than, how like Marge is just the mum.
Yeah.
And she's, very two-dimensional.
But I assume they have like Marge-centric episodes and Lisa-centric
do.
episodes,
The
which...
problem with modern Simpsons is they haven't changed the voice actress.
Yeah.
She cannot talk.
Yeah.
Hmm.
She has this. No, there's legitimate. If you go and just watch clips of the more recent seasons,
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
her voice cracks so much that you can all like it can be hard to understand what she's saying.
Yeah.
Whenever I'd watch clips on YouTube, I assumed what they were doing was editing the vocals or editing the audio to avoid copyright issues.
Oh.
And it wasn't until I watched an actual episode I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's her actual voice.
Yeah.
Like,
See, I
it's
mean,
so jarring.
this is why I'm so like The Simpsons should have been cancelled 20 years ago. It's because it's not just the show's not good anymore. It's everything and everyone involved with the show is just it's past its use by date.
This season has been rough, but the previous season was good.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can waste your time watching Taken and Simpsons.
That's it. It's not time wasted if you enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right. We'll move on. What have you been watching, James? Anything new or interesting?
Let me check. What
You watched
can I-
Bros. That's interesting. Why did you watch Bros?
So it's Pride Month, and I was like, we always bring up Bros on the show, or at least we have in the past, at least a couple of times, as an example of a rom-com that nobody went to see at the cinema, and so it underperformed.
and then you
or
blamed the straights.
And then Billy Eichner, the star
No,
and
it's not a
co-writer,
joke. He did.
yeah, it was like straight people didn't show up for it, which is true.
I was trying not to bring
But-
attention to me laughing, but thank you, Nathan.
Yeah,
No, it sounds so ridiculous, but it was a marketing problem.
yeah, but also, and then I've talked about before how it's like, but people don't really go out to see rom-coms in the movies anymore.
No, it's not a
Um,
Marvel movie. Not interested.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like it would have underperformed
Anyway,
even if it was a
Yeah.
quote-unquote straight comedy. But I always wanted to see it. Like, I was like...
I wasn't opposed to it. Yeah.
No, it's just like, I saw the trailer. I'm like, that looks funny. I'm like...
So I don't go to see movies I want to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like I don't have money to go see the big blockbusters. I'm not going to spend the money to see a rom-com. That's definitely a streaming choice. And like we kept bringing it up as an example, not a negative example, but an example of like
missed opportunities. For
yeah,
films,
and you know the people involved being like, oh well, people didn't come out, and and it's just like,
yeah.
but I still want to see. I still like.
Yeah.
I wasn't not going to see it. I wasn't. So it's on streaming, so I watched it. It's pretty good.
It's good, worth a watch.
Yeah, it's a bit long. It's an hour and 55 minutes, which for a rom-com feels long. But I wasn't bored, and pretty much every scene made me laugh.
Oh, good.
So and it
Intentional laughter.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no. It's like a lot of jokes. It's
Yeah,
jokes. It's
is
not
it
one
like
of those.
actual jokes, or is it Billy Eichner? Yeah, is he in the film?
Yeah.
Yes, he's
Is
the
it
main.
like yelling a lot, or is it like actually jokes?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the thing is like his character is wound up.
What was that sitcom he was in?
I don't know.
Do you remember? Do you know what I'm talking about?
He did Billy on the Street.
No. Was he in a sitcom where he played a gay man?
I'll look him up.
And it
I'm
was
not
really
sure.
good, and it got cancelled.
I don't know.
Oh, this is gonna drive me nuts, and I apologize if it's not Billy Eichner.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll find out.
that's
It doesn't make
that
sense.
doesn't
I
make
thought you were going
sense.
to be like, we'll find out after the break and then do the...
No.
Yeah, that-
We'll
Damn
get
it,
there,
Nathan,
we'll
we
get
need to
there.
ban you off
Yeah, I
soundboard.
think
we
we need to
need-
turn the laptop around
Well,
so I
someone
can.
else could take over.
Give
no
it to
problem.
Rafal's MC.
Look at
now.
him act like he's
He
doing a
doesn't have
tough
headphones.
job.
He's just gonna click randomly
Yeah.
and hope for the
He
best.
can't hear
Yeah,
them.
He was in
Toilet
Parks and
Club.
Recreation, Difficult People.
Was it? I think it was Difficult People.
I don't think I've seen
He
that.
was in Friends from College. These are just shows that he was in
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
larger period. Don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it was a good movie. I liked it. I laughed pretty much the whole
Yeah,
way
Difficult
through.
People. That was great. I'm sorry. It was
Yeah.
as this Pride Month. We should mention that the best gay sitcom. Oh wait, apart from what was that one with the young boy? Do you remember that one? And he's in high school. That was hilarious.
You're so vague.
I'm sorry.
Tom?
The guy with the hair,
Yeah,
the gay guy with the hair, had the
I'll
show.
find out. I'll find out. It's
Everyone knows.
The Real O'Neills.
the Real O'Neills. Yeah, hands down, best gay sitcom.
I haven't
But
seen that
Difficult
either.
People's second best.
Okay.
All right, best gay movies of all time: Lord of the Rings.
I knew you were going to say it. I was waiting for it.
Classic Alan.
I've read the books now and can confirm. I'm pretty sure he says he loves Frodo.
Yeah, but you know what? We'll have this discussion after the show. We've been over this so many
Yeah.
times.
He had like Mr. Frodo's head resting on his lap and stuff.
Yeah, that,
I'm just
Hey,
saying.
man.
you know, I'm going to do
Bros
a quote
looking out
from
for
Clerks.
bros.
I'm going to do a quote from Clerks 2, which you haven't seen. They're not gay, they're hobbits.
It's very
Also,
similar to
while
me.
it is Pride Month, we can also we'll refer our listeners maybe on an end card to go listen to our cruising classic movie review.
Oh, that's the best. That's the second best gay movie. First is definitely Lord of the Rings.
Speaking of, I also watched Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, because I'd never seen that before, and I was meant to watch it.
How'd you like it?
It's really good. I recommend it. It's a classic Aussie road movie, which I knew, but it's just like it's always the thing, you keep putting it off.
It's referenced all the time.
Yeah, it's like something. It's like if it's famous enough, you're like, I'll get round to watching it eventually. I just kept putting off for years and years and years, and I saw it on Amazon. I was like, I guess now is a good time to watch it.
Yeah.
It's really good. I really liked it. It's very funny, and it's they
Is
don't
that
make
the one with Hugo Weaving?
yes,
Yeah.
Guy Pearce, Terrence Stamp. Like, it's one of those movies as well. It's like I miss old movies that looked like movies, where they're actually driving through the desert on a bus and they actually film it out in the desert, and it's like this practical, and of course all the colourful costumes and the stuff like that. It's also funny and it's very Australian.
Trying to make a movie that looked like a real movie. They even used a real gun and real bullets. But then somebody died.
Oh, Mr. Baldwin.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
No one's laughing.
Terrible.
Alan's really going for it this episode.
Alan's feeling dark today. He's been here too long.
I'm sick today, and I'm just like, no prisoners.
You what's that Roseanne when she took the was it NyQuil, and then she blamed her racist outbursts on it. Alan's like, I want cough medicine, so I'm just gonna say awful
Yeah, that's
things.
it. Well, luckily we got a 7-second delay. All right, look, we might be back with more right after this. Yeah, we're back on the Tuesday review after my sloppy, timing on the board. It's been a while. I guess we'll go around to Callum. What have you been watching, Callum?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I
All right,
went
moving on to Alan. What you watching?
Callum
I'm
wasn't.
kidding.
If it's now Callum's
No,
thing
I've
has
got
become.
stuff to say.
It was. If it's not on the stack, I'm not watching it now. So if it's not on the Plex, I'm not watching it.
No. That's
She's
actually,
traded one addiction for another.
No. We all know that I'm watching The Wire. It's my primary watch. But then I watch whatever we're watching for the show. Like if Dark Matter's coming out, I want to watch that because it's topical and it's interesting.
It is. It's very interesting.
But yeah, no. I watch stuff. But I went to Tasmania last week, so I haven't been watching much of anything.
So you watched a dog
I did watch I watched a beautiful papa called Bowie.
who did not respect Callum, which is no surprise to us.
Mm.
You know.
Anyway, but I was sitting at home thinking, what am I going to do? I haven't got anything to talk about for the show. And then the other night, last night, I was looking at the ubiquitous not cable channels that we get now, like on Samsung TVs, LG TVs. If you go into the menu, there's these live channels. And it's the same on Plex because we've been setting up our own home media server. And there's like Plex channels, like live channels. And it's like some stuff like Euronews, like actual channels, like Euronews and Bloomberg and stuff like that.
Do you rush it today?
No, I think after
They used to be on there, but with the war in Ukraine, they got taken down everywhere.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
you can't get that outside of Russia.
Good unbiased news from there back in the day.
Alan's like 4 for 4. How many?
It's because we reset. He's resetting before.
Yeah, I know. The training pool, the training
That's
data
it.
was poisoned.
That's it.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about these channels, at least on Plex, I know I can only speak for Plex because I'm focusing on that, is that they have like Johnny Carson TV, and it's just endless reruns of Johnny Carson.
That's cool.
They have 2 Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon channels that
Nice.
just play Sonic the Hedgehog. But what's interesting is they have
The cartoons.
the cartoons. I'm sorry, not the movies. They have like dedicated Christmas movie channels, which is going to come in clutch come Christmas time. But what I found fascinating was there's 2 dedicated horror movie channels that just play stuff I've never heard of in my life, like actual C movies. And I'm like, this is interesting because I tried to watch 2. One before we watched it. I watched about half an hour of one before we came to the show, and then I tried to watch one last night. And it's the duality of man, or the duality of B movies. So on one hand, we had one called Return. Now I hadn't watched the original. I'm presuming this is a sequel. Maybe not. Return to Bloodfight Lake. Now it was a purposely perverse horror movie in the style of Friday the 13th, I believe. I didn't get very far in because I couldn't stand it. It was like a Nokia camera. It wasn't like a proper camera. It looked awful. But the reason I couldn't watch it was the main actor. They filmed it to be bad, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't like
Birdemic or something.
Yeah, correct. But the lead actor, he put on this awfully fake, pretentious accent for no reason. That's just how the guy talked. And I'm watching it, and he's saying things like upper class English people would say, but he's American, and he's affecting a fake accent the whole time, and he's doing exaggerated physical gestures. And I'm like, no. What? Like, someone would have given this guy money to put this, $50 probably, to put this on some random live channel.
You don't know that he was paid.
That's also true.
If you look into a lot of these movies, sometimes that guy like wrote and directed and produced and edited the movie as well. Like,
anyway, no, I hated it. I couldn't stand it. It was just bad. Anyway,
because in the group chat you put, I'm watching Return to Bloodfight Lake. It's so stupid, and I'm just like, that is one of the stupidest things you've ever said.
Yeah, no,
like,
no.
What did you expect?
No, well, better camera work, maybe. Any camera work, maybe. So anyway,
a camera.
Yeah, that's it. A camera that was made past like 1993. That's worth more than $100.
Yeah.
So anyway, I then watched today. I started to watch The Greasy Strangler.
Oh, have you heard of that?
Yeah, and I hadn't heard of it, right? And I'm watching it, and I'm like, this looks like it doesn't belong here. It looks like it should be on Shudder or something, because the actual quality of the film was so much better. And I'm like, also, there was a lot of practical in it, and it was actually funny. It was like the complete opposite of this film in that some of the dialogue was stilted, but it was done that way on purpose for comedic effect. It was awkward on purpose.
Yeah.
It wasn't awkward because they didn't know how to do it.
Well, it's the difference between unintentionally funny and actually funny.
And I really liked it. If it was cheap enough, I'd buy it on Blu-ray. You know what I mean?
I've seen it at JB actually.
Yeah, it's hilarious from what I saw.
I have to watch it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I was just thinking about these random channels because you can get all kinds of gems on there. Like, there's channels. Sorry, go on.
No. I remember when streaming, not when it started, but when we started like sort of talking about it, and it was kind of like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if they had like just channels of stuff playing and you just find it like you did on TV? And then they started implementing that into like the actual streaming, like Netflix and all that.
Yeah.
But it's like, if I want to watch something, I'm going to go and look for it and watch it. Like, I'm not going to... It's different from TV where you don't really just click channels. But I think it's still probably worth having.
It's fascinating, though. Like, because there's a part of me that does miss that. Oh, I wonder what's playing.
Yeah.
And, like, you can find that there. And, like, it also has stuff like there was one called Dungeons TV. And it's just some guys playing D&D, and they're not very good at it. But they have, like, a really expansive-looking setup. Yeah. And I'm watching it, and the guy's like, where's the lamp? And then the other guy's trying to explain it to him, and he's like, he didn't get it. So the guy's like, no, you're here, the lamp. And I'm like, it's like really inane. It wasn't cinematic at all.
It's like Channel 31.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's like a million Channel 31s, each focusing on something different.
Yeah. But I mean, that's... Yeah, it's interesting how media has evolved where it's like we had like stuff like Channel 31 and cable access, whatever. And then, VHS and like dubbing bootleg VHS, whatever. And then the internet came along and, we had that, and now we've got streaming and YouTube, and it's like, it's all just kind of, it cycles. I don't know how to explain it.
But before I move on, shout out to Plex live channels for having like multiple paranormal channels, which just show like people make their own ghost hunting videos, and it's like you can just watch guys ghost hunt.
Nice.
And I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Yeah, and also shout out to Julian Assange, who's coming back home.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he got released.
Julian Assange got freed today.
For real?
For real.
Yeah.
That's huge.
He had to plead guilty to a felony,
Yeah.
but his sentence was time served, and so he's on a plane to come back to Australia.
He's going to die of mysterious causes.
I was going to say, I wonder if he's going to accidentally trip over and fall onto some bullets.
There's an American-controlled island near the coast of Australia, which he has to stop there first and do all the paperwork.
Oh yeah, that's
we
where he's
are an American-controlled island.
Yeah.
That's where he's getting charged.
Yeah, so he's not out of the woods yet.
So he's getting shot there.
But then, if he gets charged, like, if he's pleading guilty and gets charged, and
the sentence is time served.
okay,
so
I was going to say, because are they going to do a thing where they're like, he gets to Australia and then they're like, turn around and go back for your sentence?
It's all the time he spent in prison already.
It'll be interesting to see what accident befalls him, quote unquote accident.
He's one of the most hated men in the world in American politics.
Yeah,
so
but I didn't think they'd ever let him go, and the fact that they did probably means
apparently it was Anthony Albanese and Penny Wong being insufferable about it for 2 years. Well, like just direct pressure for 2 years, being like, let him go, let him go.
Is this the only good thing the Labour Party has done?
That's what I was going to say. I was like,
what about David McBride?
Yeah, exactly. Fix that, please. But I'm like, for years, people were like, oh, Albo's doing nothing about Assange, but
apparently no,
maybe
he
was.
Like 2 years. He's been like, let him go, let him go, let him go.
Yeah.
I love like Assange makes it successfully to Australia, and he's like, I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah.
not the sex.
He never got
issues,
charged. With
that was all
rubbish.
Yeah.
Anyway. He never got charged.
The actual whistleblowing and revealing heinous crimes by military, peoples in international areas.
Yeah.
But
considering our whistleblower protections.
Yeah,
probably.
At the same time,
yeah, exactly.
Given how the
he
world
can do
has
it
progressed,
in Minecraft.
You can whistleblow all you like. It doesn't get anyone charged. They're like, yeah, we did it. We'll do it again.
We talked about with David McBride. They charged the whistleblower, not the people committing the crimes.
So that's what I'm saying. Like they'll expose the crimes and like, yeah, we'll do it again. What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
So it's like there's no.
Oh, did you see? Sorry, we're going on a tangent now. Did you see the Boeing guy was like, yes, we have retaliated against whistleblowers. It's like, so you just admitted you just murder people casually
in Minecraft.
and nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, in Minecraft.
Nothing ever happens to these people.
He swore to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. So help him God. I think.
And because it doesn't matter, because those people are above the law.
They would retaliate against you and you and you, and you judge and anyone else and Senate people.
Yeah, like Trump can just threaten the judge and like the jury, and just nothing happens.
Yeah,
like whereas if I was charged and started talking shit about the judge, I would be straight in jail.
Of course you would.
There wouldn't be even a question.
No, because you're poor.
Yeah, exactly.
While we're on the topic of runaway juries,
eat the rich, burn it all down.
Runaway juries and corruption. James said he had a bones pick with me.
Oh no! That was just because that's what I was saying about the Blood Fart Lake thing. I was just like,
okay.
That is the stupidest thing I think you've ever put in the group chat of saying, I'm watching a movie called Return to Blood Fart Lake. It's really bad. I think it's intentional, but even then, it's really bad.
Look, would you not watch a movie if it was on TV and it was called Return to Blood Fart Lake? Would you not give it a look?
I mean, I would, but I would assume it's some kind of like comedy horror where it's like it's just a bunch of Mexican restaurants and around a lake. People just having a bad time.
Classic Alan. We need to take all the clips of like Alan.
You know what? Let's ask Rafal.
No, I know what you mean, but like.
Let Rafal do
as soon as you clicked onto it and you saw that it was filmed on a potato, you should have realized this is one of those Z-grade
like, oh shit,
movies.
It's found footage, just what I like.
No.
He's like, it's my turn to be Nathan now.
I would have stuck with it if the principal actor wasn't so awful. Like if he wasn't putting on the fake accent, I probably would have stuck with it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't handle it.
All right. Anyway, let's move on.
All right.
Alan, what you been?
I've been a Giga Chad this week.
Mm-hmm.
I watch sports.
You watch sports ball?
Yes.
Boring.
So I lost $20.
So I was watching. He was gambling. Continue.
I was gambling with a 9-year-old.
Oh my god.
Even better.
Admitting to a crime.
So, well, the 9-year-old made the bet, and I just agreed to it. So we started off with a $10 bet to see
Mate.
who would score first.
So it runs in the family.
You're starting the cousins off right
Oh,
here.
look, his dad was right there promoting the gambling.
Yeah.
So, if anyone. It'd be better that...
So he was gambling with... He was gambling with his dad's money. You were gambling with your dad's money.
Yes, exactly. Both gambling with money
So it's not an equal.
Both of us gambling with money we did not have. So I started off with a $10 bet to see who would score first between Carlton and Geelong. And I had not... I'm not vested in any of these teams, so... I don't know why I made the bet. I thought it would be a goof.
Because you're an addict.
So I lost $10 there. And then I was like, well, I got to get my $10 back. So I made a double or nothing bet to say that Geelong would win, even though Carlton was in the lead. And unfortunately, I did not win. So now I'm $20 in the hole. And I was trying my best to make another double or nothing bet. But he wouldn't take it.
Smart.
Well,
So
you
Alan got
both, I think.
outsmarted by a 9-year-old.
But, well, see, that's what I'm saying. Gambling's illegal for children. So
So you're not honouring the bet.
Did you call the police?
I'm like, yeah, I'm going to call the police. I can give him his money in front of the police officer and be like, so just explain to the police officer why I'm giving you this money. Because we made a bet and you gambled.
But then you would get in trouble also.
I'll be like, I'm an AI, I'll run away.
He'll just log off.
Just,
End the conversation.
Yeah, fade into the internet.
I'm like, kid gambling's illegal for kids. So that's what I'm trying right now. I'm trying to get away with that.
Anyway, we're out.
The other sports ball I've been watching is ice hockey.
That's very good.
The Edmonton Oilers, which is our team, represent, made it
Love
to
our
the
rule.
Stanley Cup finals against the Florida Panthers. Florida Panthers was definitely the stronger team. The way ice hockey finals work is it's best of 7 games,
Okay.
aka first to 4.
Hmm.
So it's not like you just win the one match, and the matches are played between the 2 homes. So Florida Panthers being the stronger team, basically there's an Eastern Conference and a Western Conference. Basically, Edmonton won the Western Conference, Florida won the Eastern Conference, and that's when you get the Stanley Cup final.
Hmm.
They were in the lead. They won 3 games in a row.
Okay.
So basically, Florida just had to win the 4th game. That was it.
Hmm.
And Edmonton made a comeback.
Hmm.
So they won the next 3 games.
Oh.
So it was the 7th game that was played today.
Wow.
And it was a tie game. It was 2 to the Panthers, 1 to Edmonton, unfortunately. But it was a crazy match.
How much did you lose to your cousin?
Did nothing. He was at school today.
Next minute, Alan's like, I need to pick cuz up from school. Why? We go and do activities. It's like, what's happening? Why are you picking him up?
Going to the track.
The tab.
TAB, mate. Don't gamble, people. It's a bad term.
Yeah, so no one else has got anything?
I mean, I've got heaps of other movies, but we can end up.
No, we still got some time.
Um,
What else you got? Werner Herzog eats his shoe?
Yeah. So
Is that just surface level? He's just the man eating a shoe?
Does he actually eat a shoe?
yes.
As a goof?
No. So hang on. Let me rewind. So
Was he hungry?
first, I watched Fitzcarraldo, which is a Werner Herzog movie from 1982, which I've always meant to watch. And again, like I was saying before, it's just something I've kept putting off. And then I got that Werner Herzog Blu-ray box set, and I was like slowly working my way through his movies. And around the same time, Callum was watching some of his movies on streaming. And so we talked about him on the show a couple times. And then a long time went past, and I was like, it's a long movie. And I'm like, I had some time. I'm like, I should finally sit down and watch it. And I watched it, and it's really good. It's about a sort of like early 1900s guy who he wants to claim a certain part of the Peruvian Amazon jungle where the rubber trees are, so he can make money on the rubber as a rubber baron. But it's impossible to access because of the river rapids, so you can't get a boat down there. So he's going to sail a boat down a parallel inlet to the Amazon River, and then drag it over a mountain in between on land to the inaccessible river on the other side, so then he can claim that area and make a whole bunch of money. And because it's Werner Herzog, they actually filmed it in the Amazon, in Peru. They actually got local tribespeople and locals to help, and that actually pulled it over the mountain. So it's one of those crazy movies that you'd never see made anymore, where it's all real, it's all practical. They made like 3 different boats. They pulled it over the thing, and it's just one of those crazy, epic kind of old movies that you just don't see anymore, and that's very Herzogian. And like we talked about before, the behind the scenes of Herzog movies are sometimes more interesting than the actual movies themselves.
Yeah.
So there was a documentary that I also watched, which is called Burden of Dreams, which is about the making of Fitzcarraldo. And so that's all the crazy behind the scenes stuff that happened, and how people got hurt, and there were disputes between the native tribes, and all sorts of crazy stuff going on. So that was a good time. And then as a special feature on Burden of Dreams, there's a short film called Werner Herzog Eats His Shoe, which I thought was just one of his quirky little short films that he made, early on in his career. But it's actually a sort of a mini documentary, like 20 minutes long, about he made a bet with Errol Morris, the documentary filmmaker. Errol Morris was going to make a documentary about a pet cemetery. And Werner Herzog said, if you successfully make that movie, I will eat my shoe. And Errol Morris went and made that movie. And so Werner Herzog, being Werner Herzog, was like, okay, I'll fulfill my end of the bargain. Unlike Alum, he's like, actually, I'm not going to try to worm my way out of this. And he cooked his shoe in like a big pot with like onions and garlic. Probably didn't help, but anything, I guess, to try. And then on stage in front of actual, like a live audience, he like slowly cut the leather, and was like slowly eating pieces of his shoe while he was being interviewed, and Errol Morris was there and they were talking. So it's really weird and funny.
How would you go about digesting a shoe?
Not well.
You can.
If
but it's leather shoe.
It would be real leather.
Yeah, it's like vegetable tan, that kind of stuff. Or you'd at least try and get all the dye and stuff off it, because that's stuff.
He didn't eat the sole because of the rubber.
Yeah,
he didn't.
You have to eat the leather parts. You can in survival situations, people have boiled leather and eaten that for sustenance.
Yeah,
I'm
if
sure
you're
the
starving.
onions probably actually did help.
Yeah, I mean,
he's like, this is actually pretty good, and everyone's
better than going at raw dog in it. So
raw dog in a shoe, I feel like that would be very
Name of the episode.
raw dog in a shoe.
Raw dog in a shoe, yeah.
Oh no!
Can we even call that?
We can.
Will that hit the YouTube censor?
It might get us in trouble.
That's all right. That'd be worth it, I reckon.
Did you ever watch Story Check? Is that how
Yeah,
you
we
pronounce
talked about it on the show.
Yeah, I could remember.
Yeah,
I love that film.
yeah. Because we were talking about him
A while
ago. It was a long time, and I was like, I have to watch that Fitzcarraldo. Yeah, I've still got a couple left of his to watch in the Blu-ray, and then unfortunately, like all his later movies, there are a couple of them are in box sets, but they're really expensive and hard to find.
Yeah.
And but yeah, he's just one of those really interesting filmmakers who just makes really interesting movies, and he's an interesting person.
Very good.
Yeah.
I think we'll leave it there for today. Call it a bit early.
This episode was wild.
Yes.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for being here, Rafal. He nods in approval.
He suffered it this week. Thank you.
We didn't even talk about movies this week. It's just like, what are these guys talking about?
He's like, now I remember why I don't come here.
I would have taken the potato at this point.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Please like and share the Tuesday Review on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky Newsmast, and Twitter, and follow us on YouTube at Tuesday Review AU on all platforms.
Yeah. Make sure you watch the board game.
Yeah, watch the board game video. Let us know what you think. like and subscribe. Right
Yeah,
before
ring
45s.
that bell.
Ring that bell,
Yeah.
yes. That we make jokes about that in the video. You
Yeah.
would know if you watch it.
Ding 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 ding.
We're at 45 subscribers as of the recording of this video.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
more cousins per day. You know.
That's
Mm.
it. Oh, let's hit 50.
Yeah.
Are you subscribed to the channel, Rafael?
Oh yeah. Subscribe.
Subscribe to our YouTube, please.
Yep.
He's like, I don't have my phone. He's like, put it back in Spock. All right, that's all for today. Thanks for listening, everyone. We will be back next week. Adios, cousins.
See ya.